Hello everybody and welcome to another mod video. Today we'll be replacing the FEP sheet to deal with any surprises that may have come up during your printing process. Although I'll be focusing on a Photon Mono X for this video, all this will be applicable to a wide range of resin printers. I purchased everything that you see here, so I'm in no way responsible if any damages may occur. In resin printing, this is a consumable that requires periodic replacement over time. Generally speaking, as long as you take proper care of your FEP sheet, you shouldn't have to do this maintenance as often, but due to either partial print failure or the FEP becoming cloudy over time, it does require replacement at some point. Most machines use a very similar structure as this one does, so the information that you see here should be applicable to your machine. On this particular machine, the LCD screen isn't covered by glass or a protector out of the box, therefore you should consider adding a screen protector as well. If you don't plan on doing so, then regular FEP sheet inspection should be a requirement for your machine. To begin, we first need to get a replacement FEP sheet, and I personally prefer to order one that's recommended by the manufacturer of the machine. However, it's also important to note that new developments in the technology are ongoing and new releases may become available in the future. In this case, I'm using the official replacement that's provided by Anycubic. Remove your vat and drain out any of the excess resin, making sure to properly clean the vat prior to continuing to the following step. Place a paper towel on which you can place your vat onto. You're going to need a bottle cap to use as a spacer for your replacement film, so make sure to have this handy for the future steps. There's two types of hex screwdrivers for this replacement. The size 2 and a 2.5 will be needed for this particular machine, and with the 2x5 being used to remove the first set of screws. With these removed, you can then use the driver to lift up the FEP sheet frame out of the vat base. From here, you're going to turn this over and remove the second set of screws. At this point, we can give both the vat and frame another cleanup and remove any remaining residue. In the footage that you see here, I've already done this process several times to remove any of the resin from the surface of the vat and frame, but if you've just done a quick cleanup, you're going to want to keep wearing gloves while doing the remaining steps. Place the bottle cap in the center of the FEP frame, and while holding this down, you're going to use a pair of tweezers to create a small puncture in the FEP sheet where you're going to place your first screw. I always recommend doing the four corners first before doing the remaining. You can use your fingers as a support to help control the amount of pressure while puncturing the FEP sheet. The aim is to simply start the hole and not to go all the way down. After doing the four corners, you can then work your way around the frame and attach the remaining screws. Once completed, you want to turn the FEP sheet over and place this into the vat base. Once again, you're going to create a small puncture for the screws, making sure to start at each corner. Only screw the screws in enough to hold them in place and work diagonally from each other until all of them are in position. Slowly moving diagonally, you're going to incrementally tighten these slowly down to ensure that you have even pressure. Doing this will prevent buckling from occurring in one section of the FEP sheet. Do this until you reach the bottom, but once again, don't over tighten. The FEP sheet is attached, but we now have some extra material sticking out from the edges. To remove this, we're going to follow the edges of the outer frame with a cutting blade. To keep from leaving smudges on the surface, we're going to place a piece of paper towel under our hand while carefully following the edge. You shouldn't have to pull it off if you cut all the way through the material, so take your time when doing this step. Remove any leftover material that has the potential to damage the screen and carefully inspect it prior to installing the vat. You can now reinstall your vat and begin printing once again. Let me know how many times you've had to replace your FEP sheet in the comments below. If you're looking to add a screen protector, you're going to want to see the following video since it's a great upgrade and this will help protect your screen, especially since this machine doesn't have a protective layer above the LCD. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you and take care.